Hi, today we are going to talk about importing EAD, Encoded Archival Description Finding Aids, in this case 2002 XML, into access to memory. We're assuming a bit of familiarity with EAD, and if not, the Library of Congress has a good reference center on it where you can look up. This is the tags, the versions, kits, some templates, tag libraries. Other tag libraries are available from the Online Finding Aid Consortium in California, Access to Memory, and other places. There are many places you can find a template. You can also create your own, and we're going to show a little bit about that. But it is a standard, and EAD is a data structure standard meant to provide the structure to finding aid archival descriptions based on standards and aggregate them and import and export them into descriptive systems, software, to make them into finding aids so people can view online. There's more than one starting point too. LibreOffice, you can make a spreadsheet with the tags, and you can put any part of a description at any point into OpenOffice. You can download templates. As I mentioned, you can use Oxygen or Notepad++ or other collection management input softwares, purpose-built software to create your EAD. So for practice, let's just show a quick short of how do you do this. You can log into the Access to Memory demo here, and then you can get started. This little arrow here is the import arrow. We are importing XML, of course, EAD. And I keep a sandbox on my computer for that purpose. We're going to do 2. You can check the job to see what is completed, and it'll tell you started indexing, all this information. And let's do it again. This one's a little bit larger, a little more complex, but again, but not terribly complex, like hundreds of running. But to see what we've imported, we can go back to Access to Memory, and we can browse archival descriptions by most recent. And here we say we just imported Highland Park Women's Club records and aerial photography, Highland Park, Illinois. As you can see, it imported and created a repository for us. You can, of course, enter it manually, and a authority name file, as well as subject headings. We do MPLP for various reasons. With authorities, they are not complete. They are very bare bones for time efficiency reasons and other. It imported some Library of Congress subject headings that are now added to this. And if we look at Women's Club records, let's just do a search and see if it's indexed. There we go. And also a name. And again, you can see you now have a finding aid and a description and all the pieces that have been EAD. And you could also export it back out. It is backward compatible. Now, it's not as simple as that. You have to create your EAD template, and let's have a look at that. This is what the import file looks like. Everything has an open and a close, And everything must have two parts and to the end. If you take it apart, you see the closures up front, and there's a wrapper, of course, too. EAD, and then when you start in the archival description, after the header, the wrapper, you'll see description, EAD, the same open and close. We can look, this is just a simple description, very small collection. You can also look at a more complex one. But you'll see the same construct. Begin with EAD, your header, and ending with the closing. But within that, there's very frequent repetitions and headers. And you can fill these in and add these in within Notepad++. You can also do it in a spreadsheet. When creating additional fields or a EAD in a spreadsheet, you can use each space to put in the proper tags. Of course, everything has to open and close at the end and leave a space for the piece. So that if you had a simple file level folder with just the name and the date, it would look like this. And you could put in all the titles and drag down these like this. So you had all the unit titles, the titles, if they repeated or not, the date. And there we do have your item level EAD to import as a part of a larger or smaller import. Or for series, you can do the same thing and see you can add as needed, each piece requiring at least 3 tabs because you have to put the open and the close, in this case, the extent, and put the space. And you can have paragraphs and scope of content in any of the fields or the data allowed, but you can put it all for a whole finding aid. And it's a good way to process too and put in your pieces and adjust as necessary. And you can either paste it into Notepad++, the wrapper, or put your wrapper in the spreadsheet. In case you get an error, which happens sometimes, it's handy to go through and make sure all the pieces are there. Another trick is to export. Now, assuming you have access to best practice guides, know what the set of elements are from the description, understand what a data structure standard is, and understand the basic schema, and know that we use an EAD CPF and ISAD or DAX or RAD or oncoming records and contacts as the building blocks. And you also will look something like this, whether you create it in the spreadsheet or in Notepad++. If you're having problems and you can't find out where your mistake is, are you missing a half of something, you can always do an export, which is really quite handy in EAD. And let's just do one we haven't done yet with not from this collection. See, here we have the mill fonts, and we could export EAD. And what you can do is put this in a spreadsheet Notepad++ and save the pieces. So you can use that enter as you build a finding aid to import and export and make sure that you have everything you need to create a successful exchange. Thank you.